Fear not, everybody, I'm here. It's Saturday evening, Saturday before Palm Sunday. Tomorrow actually is Palm Sunday, believe it or not. So here I am, and we'll just wait a little bit. I'm learning this, wait till people kind of log in and get going. Do I have anything to tell you? No, well, I mean I do, but nothing while we're waiting. Tonight, what I'd like to do is, because we're entering Holy Week tonight, I'd like to kind of introduce what I'll do for the next couple of nights, and that is to talk about the 7 last words of Jesus on the cross. So I'll talk about 1 or 2 of those each night. Today I'll do a little introduction and talk about the first one, the first word as it were. And then after that, since it's Saturday night, I'll do a little bedtime story for the kids. I made up these stories for my nieces and nephews, and for some of my great nieces and nephews. And it's really awesome because sometimes I get to, when I visit them, the little ones, the little great nieces and nephews, I get to help put them to bed and tell them stories and pray with them and everything. So I can read stories, anyone can do that, but I thought I'm going to make up a little story. So I made up the story about a little car, a little red car, beep beep. And I'll give you the first installment today. Actually, I don't know where I'm going to go with it. I'm just going to make it up on live, Facebook Live. So what could be, what's the risk in that? Anyway, okay, great. But first the teaching and then the story. All right. Great, here we go. So it's good that we do this. It is good that we focus on Jesus' words all the time, of course, but especially the 7 last words of Jesus. Jesus' words, or phrases, if you will, from the cross. It's good that we spend time reflecting, anytime, but especially now in Holy Week. We should all spend even more time just praying, reading, listening to God, reflecting on the mystery of the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus. This mystery that we are entering into, celebrating this week in a special way. Jesus often said to his disciples, "Come away by yourselves for a while to a lonely place to pray." And we know that Jesus did that quite often. He would remove himself from the crowds, even from the disciples, and pray for long stretches. A couple of times in the Gospels, one of the chapters will end with Jesus went up the mountain to pray. And the next chapter opens with, in the morning, Jesus came down. So he spent all night sometimes in prayer to his Father and our Father. What an awesome thing. And you think, wouldn't it be great to be a fly on the tree or rock to hear what he prayed for and how he prayed? Well, we have that, especially in John's Gospel. I believe it's 14 through 17 in there, that right in the middle of John's Gospel we get Jesus' high priestly prayer, his prayer to the Father. Don't get me started on that. I might talk about that later. That is an amazing prayer that we have in the book of John, in which Jesus prays not for himself, but for you and for me, which is just amazing. But I digress. Jesus had the habit of removing himself from the crowd, even from the disciples, to go off to pray. And we need to do that again and again. All of us, it seems, even before the virus scare and everything, and the pandemic, all of us are overwhelmed, or were overwhelmed with the things of this world, it seems, with duties at work, at home, with our physical health, the health and the security of our loved ones, all kinds of things. And now with this on top of it, I think we're all just so stressed, so worried, so anxious. I had the opportunity less than 2 months ago, I know many of you know this, but I went to Rome with about 14 fellow bishops from this region. It's our ad limina visit. Ad limina means you go to the limit, you go to the door, if you will, of the apostles. So you go to Rome to greet the apostles, to pray at the tombs of Saints Peter and Paul, and then to meet with Saint Peter, that is Pope Francis. We do it every 5 years, and I just lucked out that I'm a new bishop, and it was time. All the bishops in the United States went. We were one of the last groups, but we went 2 months ago. And I know I've told a lot of you this, but at the beginning of the meeting, this was a 3-hour meeting with the Holy Father. It was amazing, just to talk brother to brother, priest to priest, bishop to bishop. We just talked for 3 hours. It's a freewheeling conversation was just awesome. And at the beginning, he said, Pope Francis, he was saying, if you need it, the bathroom's over there, the water's over there. If you've got to get up and stretch or go outside, go ahead and do that, So it was amazing. Well, he started off, he said, well, who's going to be in charge of the meeting so that, everyone has an opportunity to announce their question or their comment. And I looked around, no one said anything. So I raised my hand, and Pope Francis looked at me and he said, aha, you're in charge. You are Il Capo. I'm Il Capo. Now, I wasn't sure if he meant the whole church or just that meeting. He wasn't really clear, but I think it was just that meeting. I'm hoping it was. But anyway, so as Il Capo, I chose the first question, my question. And I said, Holy Father, I'm hearing from a lot of our priests that they're a bit overwhelmed with administrative responsibilities. They love to preach. They love to celebrate the Mass and the sacraments. This is why they were born and ordained. But I said, they're overwhelmed with a leaky roof or new construction or finances or HR issues, And I said, and all of us bishops, I think, or I'll just say myself, I'm really feeling that as well, and I'm sure you are, Holy Father. You're probably pretty busy. And he smiled. But then he said, and it was really great, he went like this, he gave me a kind of an awkward thumbs up, and he winked and he said, perfect question, thank you for that question, that gets to the heart of who we are. And he said, brothers, we have to pray, we have to love God before all else. If we are not devoting all of our attention, or as much as possible, on our prayer life, on loving God and letting God love us, then what are we doing? What are we about? We have to spend as much time as we can in prayer and contemplation of God. Then you love your brothers. You love your brother bishops and brother priests. Build them up and love them. Be a father to your priests. And then he said, love your people. You must love God first. You must spend as much time as you can. Just like Jesus called the disciples away to pray. Okay. So, and that's true not just for priests and bishops, but all of us. In order for us to love our families, love our co-workers, love our neighbors, we have to love God and know that God loves us first. So it's good that we spend some time reflecting on that. Okay. There's a long tradition of focusing on the last words of Jesus. Of course, everything he said during his lifetime is with power and grace, and we should listen to everything that he said. He is, after all, the Word made flesh. But it seems eminently fitting to focus on the last words of Jesus as he hung upon the cross, as he was accomplishing his mission for all of us. I think that's the very definition of gravitas. It's very, very serious at that point. We should be very focused on what Jesus said and what he meant. They offer us a glimpse into the depths of his suffering, and they help to reveal his divinity as well as his humanity. We call them 7 last words, but really it's 7 phrases if you want to be literal. So we'll take up these words. I'll do one tonight, the first one, and then I'll do the next 6 over the next couple of days. The first one is this: Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. This would not be my first thought. Were I the one on the cross being tortured to death? No, more often when I am wronged, my thoughts turn to revenge and anger. They'll be sorry one day. Or, God, do to them what they're doing to me. Show them that I'm right, God, and do something to them. And again, I'm not proud of that, but I think I just have to admit that. I think a lot of us probably feel that way. When someone hurts us, we think immediately, how can I get them back? How can I lash out at them? But that's not what Jesus says. Jesus instead said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. What an amazing statement. Jesus is asking the Father to forgive the very people who are torturing him and mocking him while he dies horrifically on the cross. This shows his love more than anything else, I think. In the midst of his agony, he still loves. After all, he said, it is the will of my Father that not one of these little ones should be lost. He's thinking about these little ones who are killing him and torturing him. I like to go around to the schools here, and when I preach at the school masses, one of the things I ask them is, who's the greatest superpower ever, superhero ever, and they get it. They go to a Catholic school, they're all like, Jesus or God, right? and God can do anything. He's more powerful than Superman or Wonder Woman or anything. What can God do? What's his greatest power? Thinking they're going to say, oh, he can crush the world with his pinky, or something like that. But every child, in every school that I've done this in Arizona, Texas, here, in Florida, I put the microphone in front. I'm like, yeah, what's God's greatest power? And they get it. They say, he forgives us. I'm like, wow, that's fantastic that little kids know that. That truly is God's greatest power. God, who created us, who could just wipe us away, if and when we sin and disobey. God forgives us again and again and again. And we see on the cross, he is forgiving the very people who are killing him. And as I said, when someone hurts us, we immediately think about revenge. How can we forgive as Jesus forgave? I think the key is to step back, to see as God sees us and them, and to say with Jesus, even if we have to kind of force ourselves to say it, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know why they just said that. They don't know why they just lashed out at me. Please forgive them. Okay, I promise to tell you a story, hopefully. This might be a little longer. This is a quick story. So this is the story. I just made these up. I never know where it's going to go, but this one is the introduction to a little red car named Beep Beep. And I made up a little jingle too, so it's really silly. But anyway, who's that car running down the street? Little red car, it's got to be Beep Beep. And the children go Beep Beep, go Beep Beep, go Beep Beep, go. Go Beep Beep, go Beep Beep, go Beep Beep, go. Okay, hello boys and girls. Today you're going to hear a little story called Beep Beep Goes on an Adventure. So this family one day was at the beach all day enjoying themselves. They had fun in the sun and the sand and everything. And when it was time to go, they were tired and a little sunburned, and they packed everything up and they put it inside the car, Beep Beep. They put it into Beep Beep. And the kids and everyone really had sand in their toes and even in their swimsuits and in their sandals. But Beep Beep didn't care. He loved the humans very, very much. He just loved to carry them around and take them to work or take them to school. One day he had to take the woman to the hospital really fast because she was going to have a baby. So Beep Beep was very proud of his family and he loved them. And so they went home after this long day at the beach. It was just getting dark and they went in the garage. They closed the garage door. They took everything out of the car, out of Beep Beep. They turned off the light and they went in to go to bed. And Beep Beep was alone, and it didn't bother him usually. He was fine. He would just think about the adventures of that day and what they might do the next day. But he was all alone. But all of a sudden, he never had this thought before, but he thought, I wonder if I could just go out and just just drive around a little bit. Well, that was against the law. Cars could not drive themselves. They had to have a human drive them. But Beep Beep's like, they won't even know. So Beep Beep turns on he hits the garage door button, which is inside the car, and then he just pushes himself out and doesn't turn on the car, but gets out to the driveway and then turns on the engine, and then soon he's driving down the road without any humans. And he's like, this is great. Wow, I should have thought about this sooner. And he's beeping at his friends as he drives by, some of the friends in the driveways there and on the street. And they beep back at him and they look and they're like, what? There's no humans in there. You can't do that. And he's like, see ya. And Beep Beep's driving around and he's seeing friends. He's like, I'm going to go see my friend from Germany. So he goes up to this one house where the Volkswagen is parked. And he beeps on there and he turns on the lights and the Volkswagen wakes up and the Volkswagen's like, you're not supposed to be driving without humans. And he says, I know, but no one's going to know. It's great. And he's like, you're going to be in trouble. And he's like, no, I won't. And he's driving around. He's having a great time driving all over, seeing everything, seeing the school and seeing the work where the humans work. And then he's having so much fun that all of a sudden he has this feeling in his stomach, rather his gas tank. And he's like, oh no. I remember when they pulled in, the humans said they wanted to get gas the next morning. Oh no, I'm running out of gas. And right there, Beep Beep runs out of gas. And he's just like, oh no, what am I going to do? He's so scared. He thinks he's going to get in trouble. And whenever Beep Beep starts crying, windshield wiper fluid just comes up and everything. So he's got the windshield wipers going and he's crying like, oh, I'm so in trouble, oh my gosh, and I'm scared, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be in so much trouble. And he's sitting there and all of a sudden he sees behind him these huge lights, looks like a truck, and it's coming right at him. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get crushed, I'm gonna die. And no one even knows I'm here, I'm so scared. And this truck pulls right up alongside him, and he's like cringing, thinking the truck's gonna crush him, but it doesn't. And he looks up and the truck says, hello, little one. I don't know why he talks like that. Hello, little one, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I was being really bad, I'm so sorry. I drove without any humans and I ran out of gas and I'm stuck and I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. Is there any way you can help me? Why, yes, I can. But you have to promise you never do that again. I won't ever go outside the house without the humans again. I'll never do it. And he said, because that's not right. You should always be with the humans. They should always be in you. Even though you know how to drive, they should be driving. Okay, just help me, please. So the truck says, you're in luck. I'm a tanker. A tanker? What's that? I have gas. I have gas too, but that's because I had beans. No, I have petrol. I have gasoline. Oh, yay! So the tanker puts just a little bit of gas in there because, he doesn't want the humans to find out. And the truck tanker says, is there anything else you want? And he says, yeah, I need more windshield wiper fluid. Oh, yeah, you've been crying. So he fills that up as well. Thank you. Now remember, don't do that again. And he drives, beep, beep, goes away, drives into the garage, closes the door, turns off all the lights. He made it. And then the lights go on in the garage and the door opens. And it's a human and he looks out, sees beep, beep there, and then smiles, closes the door, turns off the light and goes to bed. And beep, beep. He's so happy that he made it, and he promised, I won't ever do that again. The end. Now, children, hopefully you could go to sleep. And then, not tomorrow, but sometime maybe next week, I'll try to think of another one, but I think that's all I have. Anyway, God bless you all. I hope you have a great night. Sorry, it's a little longer. Have a good evening, sleep well, and I hope this is a good and holy week for you. It certainly will be different for all of us around the world. But let's take advantage of the time that we have together and alone to pray and reflect on these awesome mysteries that we will celebrate with Jesus Christ. God bless you.